We got the latest chapter, and all I gotta say is, Gege, stop doing this to us, man. Don't keep doing this to us. Hey, look, this is the second chapter we got where we get to see someone from the original JJK, and it's just this one little part of a whole page, like this little part, and then that character isn't mentioned no more throughout the whole chapter. Now I could see like maybe a whole page of that character, but just a little cube, a little image of that character, and they may say one or two words, and that's it. Like, come on, man. This is the second time. I don't know if they trolling us or what, but we only got this one little small panel of Mahito. Now, granted, it was enough to get me amped and excited and looking forward to the chapter, but I would have liked to have gotten more. And I wonder if we're going to get more about that flashback. Are we going to see more of Mahito? Every time I look at that page or that little part of the page and think about it, just really makes me think of that scene where Yuji tells him, like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you come back, I'll take you out. If you come back again, I'll take you out again. Over and over, how many times it takes. I'm okay with my part in this world. So I don't know, man. I just wanted a little bit more with that. But overall, this chapter was pretty good, man. It made me actually feel sad for Yuka. But we about to get right into it, man. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell, man. Again, I'm returning from out of town, so I am basing this video off the fan translations. But make sure you check out the official to show your love and support. I know I am as soon as I get back in town, so make sure you do the same. But we get this amazing color page with Yuko on the cover as well as Cross. You know what I'm saying? Some people may assume that it's Maru, but I think it's Cross just based off what this chapter entails. Now, this is a dope color page. Now, of course, you got it where the chapter actually starts off with the old man that Maru just beat the hell out of in the last chapter. This dude is still going, man. Hey, despite how you feel about him, and the fact that his design looked like saggy skin, you know, hey, the dude kind of doing this thing. Like, this dude is still fighting. I think it's been like, what, 3 chapters straight? But of course you have where the teacher of Yuka as well as Sarugi, you know, he shows up and you look at his hand, and his hand has the snake and the snake eyes and the fang curse seal on it. I'm not gonna lie, the joint look pretty dope on the hand, man. The joint kind of make the dude look goated. And you have it where he says, "Don't speak." So yes, this man has cursed speech. Now, the crazy thing about his cursed speech, when he covered his mouth to talk through the tattoo, through the seal, it doesn't look like he's in pain like our boy Salmon from back in the day, from the original JJK. And I wonder if that was a way they developed to get around that pain, to get away from that weakness of that curse technique. And if that's the case, I want to see more of this, because once he says don't move, the old man can't move. And then he proceeds to beat the hell out the old man. Like, I mean, this dude just kicked him straight in the face. And then you have it where he tells Mino, like, yo, hey, look, wrap him up, man. Let's take him into custody. Let's get out of here. Then it jumps to Sarugi, and you have it where Cross is holding him by the neck. And, you know, Sarugi's like, yo, what's the matter? What's going on? Why do you have to act like this? You know, and you have Sarugi saying like, yo, wake up. Why the hell did you say that? Why are you talking about, you know, we can be neighbors? What do you mean by that? Answer me. And of course, Sarugi ends up passing out, and you have it where Cross, he's pissed by that statement. He's pissed. He's just thinking about all the stuff that humans been scheming and been up to. And he says, like, being neighbors with your kind, you know, effing chance, like big effing chance. I don't know if I can say the F word. It felt weird to say it. And I doubt that's what they're going to say in the officials. I mean, they might. And if they do, I'm going to be like, yo, damn, that's crazy. But anyway, you got it where, you know, the teacher of Sarugi and Yuka, you know, he says, like, we could take Maru to our medics and have them take a look at him. Of course, Cross is saying, like, no, our medics to look at him. And he looks at, you know, Cross looks at their teacher like, y'all just want to study our biology so that you can have a better understanding of us and how we use our curse abilities. And you have it where, you know, their teacher's thinking like, damn, he figured me out. But while, you know, Maru's laying there unconscious, you have it where Cross takes the, you know, that little sticker or Band-Aid off his forehead, as well as the little rope to tie the hair, and he says, I'm a bard for a while. And this is where we get to the panel that had me upset that I was speaking about earlier. We see a panel of Mahito. He's upside down, and he says, what's all this? I thought you were him. And then in that moment, you have it where Sarugi wakes up and he looks frightened. Now, I did a spoiler video a couple days on this chapter, and someone said something that had me intrigued in the comment section. Shout out to you. Um, you have it where they say they believe that at some point in time, Mahito returned and he ran into Sarugi, thinking Sarugi was Yuji, but it turned out to be, Sarugi. So Mahito was about to finish him off. He was a young child at this point in time. And then that's when Yuji showed up and saved him. Yuji saved Sarugi from Mahito and, finished him off once again. Now, if that's the case, that sounds cold as hell. And I would like to see more of it. But I could have, if I remember correctly, when not Gojo, I was about to say Gojo, but when what was his name? Jogo. When Jogo got defeated by Sukuna, he said, we will be reborn, but we won't really be like our previous selves. So do they have just a little bit of their memories, or are they completely different? The fact that he makes this statement, Mahito makes this statement, leads me to believe that they're not completely different. They do have some past memories of their past selves. Now, that could just be me, but all in all, man, this is probably the most intriguing part out of this whole chapter, or at least it's in the top two, because what we find out later on in this chapter may be number one, depending on which character you like the most. But anyway, as Sarugi wakes up from that nightmare, we don't really get anything else about it. And you have it where Maru is standing there right in front of him. Now, of course, we can look and tell that that's not Maru, that's Cross. But your boy Sarugi, he cannot tell the difference. And their tattoo markings are completely different. Now, it makes me wonder if Gege does that so that we, as the reader, know who the two people are, who the individuals are, or is it really different markings on their faces? Because if that's the case, hey, yo, Sarugi, you need to tighten up. But of course, you got it where Sarugi is asking Maru about Cross, which he's really asking Cross, like I was just saying. And you got it where he says, like, yo, why is your brother so offended and so angry by us? What is the deal with that? And the next thing you know, you have it where Yuka shows up. She's pretty much praising Maru for what he did in the battle against the old man, saying like, yo, I heard what happened while I was unconscious, yo. Congratulations to you. You did your damn thing. And you got it where Sarugi saying, yeah, man, he's on the level of a grade 1 sorcerer, first grade sorcerer. And of course, you got it where, Yuka says, well, let's get going. Maru says, which is actually Cross, says, like, where to, and of course, Yuka says, the place you wanted to go. And they end up going to a fair. I think it's hilarious the face they actually show of Cross, like, yo, Maru, I can't believe you really wanted to do this. Like, this was on your to-do list. Of course, there's this little kid. He's lost from his mom, which is a pretty small part of the chapter. But you got it where he's looking for his mother. And Yuka, as well as Cross, helps this guy, helps this little kid find his mom because, Sarugi and Mino, they take off running in the opposite direction. Of course, once they run off, you have it where Yuka says, like, yo, Cross, I know it's you. My brother may not be able to figure it out, but I can. And I imagine because she can see the difference in their curse energy. That's just my thoughts on how she was able to tell so quickly. But anyway, you have it where they find the mother of this little kid. The little kid goes off with his mom, and as he walks off, he gives his balloon to Cross and says, thank you for your help. And then you have it where, Cross, as well as Yuka, they have this talk about how the world is and how, certain religions are banned now because what took place, a few years ago in Japan. And you have it where they have this very deep conversation. Then Yuka goes to reveal something that's very crazy, something we did not know. But it turns out, she's got something going on with her brain. One would say brain cancer, but it's not quite as serious as brain cancer. And she only has a year and a half to live. And you got it where, she's not really saying that she's upset and mad about it. It's just the way things are. Now, I'm very curious if her brother is aware of that. I'm very curious, but I feel like it may be a situation where Maru and Cross may be able to heal her and erase that, that disease that she happens. But you got it where she's trying to pretty much tell him like, yo, even though I don't have much time left to live, I'm not taking my hatred and anger against everybody. Of course, you got it what Cross says, like, yo, you don't know what we've been through. So it's up to us to be aware of the situation so that what happened in the past doesn't happen again. And I imagine, just my guess, the people they seen as neighbors in the past turned out to be not their neighbors and actually wipe most of their kind out. That's just where I'm going at. But you got these two just having a heart-to-heart talk about the situation where Cross is pretty much standing on what he believes and Yuka is standing on what she believes. Now, will she be able to actually get him to, change? Only time will change. I feel like that little kid giving him a balloon was the first step. But like I said, I want to know more about the disease that she actually got since she doesn't have much time. And it might be one of those situations where Cross is the only one she told outside of her actual doctor. But let me know your thoughts on this chapter down below. And if you like this video, thumb it up, please subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Peace.